get you some. Oh, yeah. Mate, it's lucky she can cook. Wow. Well, hello. Welcome back. I hope you're all having an awesome Monday. Alright, you ready for this one? The perfected caramel slice. Okay, I have a caramel slice on here. It's friggin' beautiful. It's pretty popular, but I wanted to perfect it and I wanted to get a better picture as well for the cookbook. So, by the time I had off, I spent mucking around with it and I have truly got it perfected. So I personally, and a few other people have said too, yes, caramel slice is very sweet, but it was really sweet, my original one. And a lot of people had problems with doing the chocolate on top, with doing it on the stovetop. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a chocolate a different way so it's completely foolproof and easy to do. And I have altered my slice so now it is not as sweet. It is a beautiful sweetness still, but not overly sweet. Now the problem with that is that before you could only have 1 or 2 pieces and it was too sweet. Now that it's just perfect, you can munch on it all night long, so sorry. Alright, first thing we want to do is preheat our ovens to 180 degrees Celsius. We need to get ourselves a Lamington tray. We want to put a little bit of butter in it and then get some baking paper. Now make sure you put it up higher on the sides so we can pull the slice out later. Alright, once our oven's on and we've got that ready to go, next thing we want to do is grab out a saucepan and we want to put 125 grams of unsalted butter in there. I will write the recipe below as always. Alright, so I'm going to put that on the stovetop on low so that can start melting. Alrighty, into a large bowl we want to add 1 cup of plain flour. We want half a cup of brown sugar, and you don't want to pack it in tight, just loosely put it in there. Half a cup of designated coconut, or some might call it desiccated. Now we just want to mix them in well while we're waiting for the butter, and this is the base. Now we add our melted butter and then we mix it in really well until all the ingredients are wet. Once they're all wet and it looks like that, we now want to dump it in our tin. Alright, so with the back of the spoon, just spread it out and try and get it evenish first. And then with the back of the spoon, you want to just press down and keep pressing. Once you've got it all pressed down firm, you can then kind of push it with the back of the spoon. Make sure you're in view. And push it all around to flatten it all out and try and get it as even as you can. Then once you've got it as flat as you can, you go around the edges and you can push all them down nice and perfect. It comes out with the back of the spoon. Once we've got it beautiful, we just want to wait until our oven is up to 180 degrees. Once that's up there, we want to bang it in for exactly 15 minutes. Alrighty, 15 minutes later, she's perfect. Okay, do not turn your oven off, we need it again. Alright, so what we're going to do is set that aside somewhere to cool down a little bit while we make the filling. Alrighty, for the filling, first thing we do is grab the saucepan we used for the butter before. We want to put 100 grams of butter in there. Alright, so now we want 2 roughly 395 gram cans of sweetened condensed milk. Today I'm using the Woolies one. Now, a couple of times that I've tried it over the last few weeks, I have used the Woolies one. Now, if you dip your finger in and taste it, it tastes like shit. But once you finish cooking your caramel slice and everything and it's all ready to go, it tastes absolutely beautiful. Now, they're only about $1.60 at Woolies, which is pretty much half the price of the normal ones we'd get. So, if you're thinking about using the Woolies ones for this recipe, they are perfect. So we want 2 of those cans straight into with our butter. Alrighty, now they're both in there. We need treacle and golden syrup. Now, I know a lot of you are going to ask me, can you just use golden syrup? Look, you absolutely can if you want to, and that's all you've got. But if you want the perfect caramel slice, you need treacle and golden syrup. So 2 heaped tablespoons of treacle and 2 heaped tablespoons of golden syrup. Okay, now what we want to do is we want to put a stovetop on low and we want to put it on there and we just want to keep stirring until all the butter's melted and it's all smooth. That's all we have to do. You probably can't see in this light, but now that it's all melted through perfectly, look at this. Oh, so a lot of people ask for a darker caramel. Well, lovelies, you got everything you asked for in this recipe. Okay, now we pour it onto our slice base. I'm probably in your way. Once we poured it in, we just want to even it out. Okay, lift it up just a little bit and drop it. Do it a couple of times. Now we want to bang it in our ovens for exactly 20 minutes. We're just going to leave it sit there for 20 minutes to start cooling down because caramel takes forever. And after 20 minutes, we'll do the chocolate on the top. Alrighty, 20 minutes later. I don't know what it's like where you guys are, but here it is frigging freezing. I love winter. I love big baggy fat clothes. I love the oven going with the smells of food. Fireplaces if you're lucky enough. Oh, but it is cold. So perfect time for baking. Okay, so what we're going to do a little bit different this time to the last slice is I did 290 grams of chocolate on the last one. This one, it's 200 grams, and instead of dark chocolate, it's milk chocolate. Now, if you got dark chocolate, you can use dark chocolate, but I tried the last version I did with the milk chocolate, and it was frigging beautiful. So I've only got the block stuff today, so I'm going to cut it up nice and small so it melts easy, but you can use chips, you can use anything you want. So the foolproof way to do this is get a saucepan with a heat-proof bowl to sit on top. Now we want to boil our kettle, and when we put it in there, we don't want the water to be touching the bottom of our bowl, okay? We want a little gap there so it doesn't burn our chocolate. So I'm going to chop the chocolate up really small and chuck it in our heat-proof bowl. Once we've done that, you can add 1 tablespoon of olive oil like I am, or you can add 1 tablespoon of vegetable oil. This makes the chocolate a bit softer, so it is not so hard when it sets, and then it's easy to cut with a hot knife. Okay, now we've done that, we pour our water in, not too high. And this is really easy and completely and utterly foolproof. Alright, we'll leave that sit there. When it starts to melt about halfway, then start stirring it until you've melted it. Alrighty, once we've got it melted through beautifully like so, put it onto a tea towel just to dry the bottom of the bowl off so we don't get water in it. Grab our slice quickly, pour it over it, get all of that in there. Once we scrape that awesomeness out, get it and just get it covering the whole thing first. Okay, once we've done that, just do it like we did last time, pick it up and drop it. Just keep doing it a few times until we got it flat. Now normally you would put that straight in the fridge, but because my fridge is so uneven, I'm just going to leave it sit there for a minute until the chocolate starts to set. As soon as it starts to set, I'll whack it in the fridge. So because caramel takes so long to cool down, if you've got glass shelving in your fridge like I have, I'm just going to put a tea towel under it before I put it in there to make sure the warm on the bottom doesn't crack the glass. And then we want to leave it in there for 4 hours. As it is without covering it up. Just bang it in there. Alrighty, 4 hours later. Now, if you want to make it and leave it overnight, after the 4 hours, I would just lightly wrap it over the top with Glad Wrap and then leave it in there. Now, this slice lasts forever. It'll be eaten before it goes off, put it that way. So even if you wanted to do it a few days before and just leave it in the block, wrap it up really good and just leave it in the fridge. Alright, so always store it in the fridge. So what I normally do is I'll leave it sit here for 10 minutes just to warm up that little bit. Alright, so you get a knife and you run it under hot water, okay, to make it nice and hot. Wipe it down with a tea towel, and while it's still hot, I'm going to do it the opposite way around, so I don't know how I'm going to do this so you can see. But I'll put it on there and then gently press down and let the knife melt through the chocolate, and you'll just hear it crunch like that and it will fall through. And then, well, there you go, lovelies, the perfected caramel slice. So you just wrap all the slices singly in Glad Wrap and whack them in the fridge. The easiest way to cut them, the bar's cold from the fridge, is unwrap them and turn them on their side. Cut them with a big knife while they're cold and hard, and it's really easy to slice it up that way. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this, please hit that like button. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. I'm trying to get to 10,000 subscribers so I can open a merch shop. I can use the proceeds from that to make a cookbook. I love you all to bits. I really appreciate all your support. Have an awesome evening, and I'll see you on Wednesday. Toodles.